He's going to play the part of Demmie tonight. Welcome to Ultimate Guide of Spooky Empire. He goes in there. Demmie's not in a good mood tonight, so we're going to have this little guy, not to finger. He's going to play the part of me. So good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday night. Before we even get into the introductions and everything, we are doing Wednesday night because we are going to be at Camp Blood Celebration Friday the 13th, and we thought it was kind of silly to have one right after the other. So before anything else, let's get into the disclaimer. The hosts of Ultimate Guide to Spooky Empire's Ultimate Horror Weekend are not official Spooky Empire staff, nor are they employed or compensated in any way by those at Spooky Empire. The information given on this webcast is based on experiences by longtime attendees and fans, and the opinions expressed on this fan webcast are not necessarily representative of those at Spooky Empire. Please hold us, and not them, responsible for anything said on this webcast. This webcast uses vulgarity, discusses adult topics, and may indulge in sexual innuendos. If you are easily offended, please turn off your screen now and go watch. Well, we decided Nickelodeon is not the choice for you. I don't know. We are not a family-friendly webcast, so put your children to bed, as we are not responsible for whatever you may be offended by. By continuing to watch, you to agree that you understand the aforementioned terms, and you will not get your panties in a bunch. For any and all official information, be sure to check spookyempire.com and Spooky Empire on any of their respective social media. So buckle up and get ready for the ride. Good evening, everyone. Now that we get that out of the way. Yeah, I know. The fact that we have to say that before every single webcast is a little ridiculous, but what are you going to do, right? But yeah, speaking of which. Oh no. I'm hearing feedback. We're not. Anyway, there's Boris. Say hi, Boris.
Hey, guys. I'm back.
Finally, like he's been I think he went to Russia for a while, went back to the motherland or something.
Yeah.
And say hi to Mo.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
And we have a very special guest. Yeah, we have a very special guest tonight. We have John from the CEO of Iconic Management. Hey, John.
Hey, how are you?
How's it going tonight? Okay. All right. The first thing we wanted to start off with tonight, and like I said, this stuff is far prettier to look at than I am, so here we go. We definitely wanted to talk to you about the Camp Blood celebration Friday the 13th at Gods of Monsters this Friday. We'll probably be there from I don't know, 5 o'clock on or something like that, in our PJs, because that's just appropriate and correct. Now, it's put on by 13X Studios, and we've talked about them a number of times. They did give me a little information that they did wanted to share with you guys. All right, let me just read this off here. Okay, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. The Give the Kids the World raffle. That's going to be a huge, huge thing. Jeremy Palco from Walking Dead is going to be there from 6 to 9. Trivia is going to be dope. There's going to be awesome prizes. Let's see. There's the costume contest where they're giving out Disney park hoppers, stuff like that. Let's see. From 2 to 9, there's going to be art and collectibles show with 13X Studios, Vaughn Balak, which we will actually be interviewing at the show. Erie, Florida, Nick Ferratu, FX and Designs. Luna Moon Gothic Jewelry. Let's see. Deviant Dolls, Bearcat Creations. Oh my God, they've listed so many here. Bonnie Wong, Genki, oh God, and I apologize if I'm massacring the names here. Genki Goth Studios, Coffee Shop of Horrors, our favorite. Haviticus Art. They're going to kill me for massacring these names, my God. Cry Comic, Razor Glove Productions, Many Faces Company, my bad. Freak Show Designs, Sideshow Sausage, which we are going to be doing a tasting of. And Rob's in the chat room, and I'm sure he's going to be looking forward to that. Bone Daddy Bruce Vinyl Decals, Missing Finger Productions, Copper Fox Tattoo, Tom Roy. Oh my God. Put this up because it's going to take me an hour to go through this entire schedule that they got planned. They've got horror trivia, they've got fire dancing, they've got a world premiere of Violent Realm, 16-minute short film by Death Lake Productions. Let's see, they've got all sorts of photos going on, and like I said, the Give the Kids the World raffle, which is a great organization. the costume meetup, costume contest, as I said, all sorts of other stuff. Anyway, so there's not going to be a that, so that's why we're doing this tonight, and we're not doing this on our usual Thursday night spot. Eesh. Okay, that was... God, there's a lot going on. And unfortunately, we're going to miss a Tampa crew of Boris and Mo there. That's going to suck.
Yeah, who's actually showing up to this?
So Robbie's going to be there because she's really looking forward to interviewing Vaughn. We're going to have Vaughn on the webcast and talk about his book and stuff. We'll probably pull Petey on too, actually. I'm sure Petey's going to be there, so we'll pull him on. Embarrass the hell out of him. Not sure yet. We're just going to see who shows up, and we'll see how it goes. It's always better if we fly by the seat of our pants, you know? Okay. Oh, actually, I think we got confirmation on a big rumor this year, don't we, Boris?
Yes. So for the first time ever, well, I don't know if it's ever, but they're not going to, is it? Well,
I think it is the first time ever.
Okay, so first time ever, they're not going to be having a zombie walk in October this year.
What?
I know, right? Instead, they're going to be opening up the convention, I would say 3 hours, 4 hours earlier. So for regular attendees, it's going to be at 1 p.m. And if you're VIP, it's going to be at noon. And also, I believe, yeah.
Wow.
And also, it's going to be open till 11 p.m., which I think is also a lot later than normal. Normally, it's open till 10, right?
Yeah, they usually close it off at 10.
Yeah, this year, according to the website, at least it's till 11. So yeah, that's like 11 hours of vendor space.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder what was behind the decision to not include a zombie walk this year for the first time.
I don't know, but they're supposed to have some kind of a gathering instead. We don't know the details. They said it's going to be available maybe next week, but in the past they've done usually in May they do a Dia de los Muertos party.
Dia de los Muertos.
So maybe something similar to that. Those are always fun. But also they were saying that even though the vendor room is going to be open at 1, the celebrities are probably not going to be there till around 4 or 5. So don't expect to see those there right away.
Get your shopping done first.
Yep. But yeah, it's definitely a good time to check out the vendor room, see what's out there.
You know, and a little tip I can give about the vendors room, to be perfectly honest, is you do that first sweep of the vendors room, and everything. And if you've been to Spooky before, everything sells out so quickly. Buy stuff quickly, you know. And normally everyone waits till the last day. I can't tell you, there were at least 3 things at the last con that I wanted to buy, and I waited for the last day, and they were gone. Everything sells out super quick. So, and we're expecting a huge crowd this year. So don't wait on this. Definitely do not wait on this.
Also, I'll go ahead and add that a lot of the celebrities that are going to be there this year are only there like Friday and Saturday as well. So getting there on Friday, there's quite a few of them. Jennifer Carpenter, some of them they'll only be there for Friday just those 2 days. So Friday is usually a really good day to get since it's not like the full capacity as where Saturday is, where you can actually go in there and it's a little less crowded and you can get some, you know, I don't want to say more one-on-one time with a lot of the celebs, but it's a lot less Saturday, I guess you can call it, because you guys know how Saturdays can get there.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just
let me interrupt just for a second, because I did hear a rumor, and this is unconfirmed, but you know, I did hear that there might be a Friday of the 13th sale of some sort for Friday tickets. So Friday may be a little busier than usual, actually. So it may be closer to a Saturday if what I hear is actually true. So just keep an eye on the Spooky page for a Friday the 13th sale.
You mean this Friday?
Going to offer something on Friday the 13th. I mean, I figured they probably would, but
interesting.
Yeah, so keep your eye out for that. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
Oh, no. That's basically, I kind of want to reiterate on that. You know, since everything's going to be opening early, I know it's going to be opening on Friday from 5 to 10, the autograph room. And open at 4 for VIPs, obviously. Every day it's going to be open an hour earlier for the VIPs. 11 to 7 on Saturday and 11 to 5 on Sunday. So.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So buy early.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of guests, don't you have like some information about the? Because my God, the past like 2 weeks, they haven't been announcing a guest after guest after guest after guest to the point where I've posted on the page. I'm like, stop announcing guests. You already have all my money. No more guests. Stop it.
Honestly, I think the count is up to 38 right now. It's
a lot of guests.
Quite a few people. A lot of people. I'm really, really excited for this. I know that the panel schedule is up on the website. I haven't taken a look at to see the people that I won't be able to see anybody because I'll be working. But but I know the schedule is up. I believe the photo op links are up as well.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm getting feedback as well. You guys hearing me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. A lot of the guests that's been announced, in the past week, couple weeks or so. PJ Solace, Linda from Halloween. I'm sorry, there's so much I had to write everything down. I apologize, guys. These are my notes.
Wow.
PJ Solace from she's been in Halloween, Stripes, Carrie.
Yeah, PJ Souls is amazing. And for Ramones fans, she did Rock and Roll High School, which is my personal favorite.
Oh, okay. All right.
And she's also
the Misfits
done a bunch
drummer.
of Rob Zombie stuff, but yes.
Misfits drummer, Joey Image, going to be there. Meg Foster from They Live.
Mm-hmm.
Jeepers Creepers 3, Masters of the Universe. I had to look that up. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
she was in
the
that.
most beautiful eyes.
She's in that new 31 movie, right? The Rob Zombie one?
Yes.
Yeah,
She is.
Actually.
Yeah.
Stan Shaw, he was in Monster Squad. He was the detective on that movie. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he's also in Jeepers Creepers 3. It looks like they've got the creeper himself, Jonathan Brett.
Yes! Sorry, I'm psyched. I'm psyched for him. Sorry, I've been asking for the creeper for years.
I thought I was the creeper.
You're the other. No, see, we need the creeper creeping on the creeper. That's what we need.
Creepception.
We need a damn it, Boris on the creeper. Yes.
Creepception.
I'm going to butcher this guy's name. I totally apologize, guys. Maddie Cardopolage from Jurassic World, Stranger Things 2.
Nice.
Okay.
Cardorapple.
I don't know how to pronounce it, so I apologize. I totally butchered that name. One of the biggest announcements, actually, in the last couple of weeks, the kids from the It.
Yes.
Jaden Lieberher, Jeremy Ray Taylor, Sophia Lillis, and Wyatt Olaf. Those kids will be there. Joey Pantoliano.
Joey Pants!
I know. Oh, gosh. Loved him in Goonies. Loved him in Matrix.
Massive Sopranos fan. So I'm just waiting for Joey Pants to call me a fucking hooah. That's all I want.
Fucking hooah.
My life will be complete. You fucking hooah. That's all I want.
We're probably gonna see a lot of like Jaws type stuff. You're gonna see a lot of sharks coming in this week because Susan Blacklenny from Jaws, she'll be there. So I definitely expect to see a lot of people holding on to a lot of like plastic little Jaws things. And Chester Rushing from Stranger Things. He played Tommy.
Oh yes, I remember him.
He'll be there. I think you have a little bit of information on the pricing on a lot of these as well. I'm sorry, I didn't write those down.
No, that's perfectly fine. And of course, a lot of thanks to Horror and Sons. Big shout out. Okay, Horror and Sons has gotten us some really great prices so far. We're seeing $30 to $40 for Joey Pants, which is incredibly reasonable. From what we understand, $25 to $30 for Meg Foster with free photo at the table. And I believe we got also, I'm missing one. Who was the other one? Oops, as I'm going through my notes. Yeah, we're just butchering everything tonight. Jonathan Breck.
It's Wednesday. Everything's off kilter.
Yeah, it really is because it's like because we're not doing the total Thursday night thing. That's why. Jonathan Breck. It looks like at previous cons, the $20 autograph and photo. So it's like wow, I'm totally in on that one. So it's because we've only got a few more that we get. We will put up on the page. So make sure you check the page for that. Yeah, and I think those are the only ones we have thus far. But speaking of, since the only ones, the new ones right now. We have mentioned the other ones in previous webcasts. Maybe we'll make an image and put it on the page, before the show. But like I said, everything that we've seen is based on what they've charged at previous cons before this. That may change at this show, so we're not responsible if you go and the price is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
However, I did want to introduce John, with the CEO of Iconic Management, and I wanted him to talk about, because we have a lot of new people at this show, and they're not really aware of how to deal with the celebrities, how to have a good experience. So, John, how long have you been doing this?
For 11 years now.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So you're real pro with this.
Started off very slow, then I started working with some different guests, probably about 2008, my first official year that I started dealing with more high-profile guests. But before that was mostly horror guests, and a lot of them were in local New England conventions.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. So, I don't know. We get a lot of the same questions all the time. What are the biggest do's and don'ts of meeting a celebrity?
Well, you mentioned, how fans should interact with the guests. I really think a big issue sometimes is the guests interacting with the fans. I feel sometimes the guests just don't know how to handle themselves at conventions, more so than the fans. So to me, I think the fans who are paying for the autographs, spending their hard-earned money, should really, not have to worry about how to behave. I think they should act appropriately, like they would in front of anyone. And the celebrity should understand that they're going to get the same 5 questions all weekend long, and they're going to get some stupid comments here and there. But overall, I really think it's more of an issue with the guests than it is with the fans.
Huh. That's actually a really interesting perspective. Okay, as far as the celebrities, should you bring cash? Should you, do they take credit cards? How does it work normally?
For the most part, it's 90% cash. Some celebrities will use Square, which is really convenient, and I think it makes for an easier weekend. So I think always come prepared with cash. If a celebrity takes credit, definitely use that if you can. Because sometimes the ATMs, if they'll run out of cash, or the lines long for the ATM.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Hyatt.
Oh, they will this weekend.
Yeah, I think the Hyatt has more than a few more than, say, the Wyndham. I think the Wyndham only has a couple of them there. But
yeah, I think the Wyndham has 2, and I think the Hyatt might have 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. But I'd say always bring some cash with you.
Oh, and by the way, Mandy Marie is in the chat room, and she just says, "Nice shirt, John."
Oh. Thank you. It's my favorite spooky shirt.
I do like it. It's old school, throwback old school. I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. So, how many items should people bring? I've seen people show up with like John Aston a few years ago. Someone brought a stack of 10 items.
Right.
Is there I don't know. Is there a limit to what people should bring?
No, if you're a collector or if you're buying autographs of other people, it's never an issue to bring up more than one item. The celebrities don't mind at all, and they're more than happy to sign more than one piece. If you're a dealer, then you should do that outside of the fan interaction to kind of not slow down the line. But usually it's never an issue if you want to bring more than one piece. And usually each celebrity has a good selection of photos as well, or you can find a lot of collectibles inside the vendor room to buy if you don't want a photo, if you want a poster, if you want, if you were saying a shark, you can get one of those to get signed. But there's plenty of opportunity to get multiple items signed.
Okay. Is there anything that maybe they in your experience that absolutely, you know, they won't sign? I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, I know some celebrities, they'll sign people's skin for tattoos or,
Right.
yeah. So I'm just wondering, in your experience, is
I
there
find-
anything that, you know, generally they won't sign?
I find some of the female celebrities won't sign any nude photos from any film work they've done. Some of them have a problem with that. Some of them have a problem signing the Funkos because they don't get any royalties from them,
Ooh.
and they feel they cheated from that.
Mm.
But I've kind of
That's
convinced
a
them.
great point.
Yeah. But I've kind of convinced them, like, all right, you're signing these, you're making money on them. Even if you had a royalty from them, it would be minuscule. So, you know, this is making up for it.
Yeah, still, that makes sense, though. I can understand that.
Yeah, that's about it. You know, and some people won't sign skin. Some people won't sign any other body parts as well. But some people, I think, would sign anything.
Point though, because I mean, I have heard stories about, you know, sign my boobs, you know, and
Well,
you know, it's like,
I had an unnamed celebrity, a male celebrity, sign a penis once. And,
oh,
you know, I won't tell you who it is. But,
names,
Hey,
no
that
names.
tattoo ended up amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
well, I didn't want to mention any names, Mo.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know,
Just saying.
Mo outed himself.
I wasn't even getting a
Yeah.
tattoo. I just wanted it signed.
you know,
No, a true story though. At Spooky Empire, I want to say in 2005, Sid Haig actually performed a wedding in his Captain Spaulding outfit.
oh yeah,
And there was a guy who actually had Sid Haig sign his ass, and he got a tattoo. He got it tattooed on his ass.
you know,
So
I think I'm kind of used to all this now. Nothing shocks me anymore. So
Nope.
when I first started this business, I was a little shocked by a lot of stuff I've seen, but now it's kind of second
I'm
nature.
sure it doesn't
I'm
even
like,
faze you anymore. Yeah, especially after 11
No.
years.
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay, I know a lot of people, and I've seen this on the Spooky page too. It's like, so what do I say when I meet a celebrity? What should I like not say? You know, it's
Well,
people don't know how to
you know,
act around celebrities.
one of the things probably you shouldn't say is that they look old. I mean, that's pretty much one thing that pisses them off.
You know,
Um,
I've actually heard that,
I've heard that
unfortunately.
before too.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean,
That's just a straight up blatant insult to the person. I mean, you have to use a little bit of common sense when you're talking
Yeah.
to people. I mean, they're people. You don't want to throw
Yeah,
out
they
insult.
forget that. People forget
Yeah.
that okay, this may be a celebrity, but they're a person, and they eat and piss just like you do. You know.
yeah. Other than that, you know, I think, you know, they usually hear, again, the same 5 questions all weekend long. And the people who understand the convention business are cool with it. They you know, like Al Yankovic, when I work with him, someone will ask him a question, and they'll be like, I'm sure you heard this question before. And his response is, well, I didn't hear it from you. So,
That's slick.
you know, and he's sincere about it. Basically, hey, you know, yeah, I did hear it, but it's nice for you to ask, or nice of you to tell me that you really liked a certain song or a video or whatever. And, you know, he's been in business, you know, some guys who have been in entertainment business for 30, 40 years. I mean, they've heard it all.
No, that's really awesome. I like the way Weird Al handled that. Oh wow, Mo, what did you do?
I did nothing.
And God damn it, it's like
Did I screw
Gremlins.
something up?
It's because of the penis autograph. That's what it is. It does it every
Well,
single time.
It does it to everyone.
I know. My God. Okay. Here's a big one. And people
Whoa.
all the time. Oh my God, this is amazing. Let's see. Do I get a refund if the guest cancels?
Well, unfortunately, everyone hates cancellations.
Yes.
The promoter may, even most of the times, a celebrity, but it happens.
Yeah.
And
that's a
fortunately,
good question. So why does it normally happen though? Like, what's the usual excuse or reason? Not excuse, reason.
it's usually 90% of the time when a celebrity cancels, it's because their filming schedule has been changed and they can't get away from the weekend. Because a lot of times, if they're on a TV show or a movie, they don't film on the weekends. Only if something happens and they have to change the filming schedule. And then I get that email saying, you know, I can't make it out until I'm filming Saturday and Sunday and Friday night. I can't make it. Fortunately, it doesn't happen that often. but it does. Sometimes they get sick. You know, I was working with Michael Parks, and
God, I miss him.
yeah, he was a great guy, great stories. The last two times I had him booked, he canceled because he was sick, and
Yeah.
you know, he was in the emergency room. His wife called me, and he wasn't going to make it, and that was in last fall, and it turned out to be serious. So those are usually the cases. Very rare instance there's miscommunication between the agent and the celebrity, where the celebrity sometimes doesn't even know that they're scheduled, depending on the level of celebrity. And there's a screw up at the agency and with scheduling between them and the manager, and all of a sudden on a Friday they cancel.
Yeah, I think unfortunately a lot of people that aren't really familiar with how conventions work, they don't understand that happens. And like you said, I mean, filming schedule is a huge one usually, or just personal sickness. I mean, sometimes people come down with like pneumonia or something. It happens. I mean, refunds are usually not in the cards if something like that happens.
No, I think only time you see a refund is on, say, a photo op, maybe, I think. I'm not
the
sure.
Professional photo ops, I think they do that.
Yeah, either refund or switch it over to someone else. But no one likes cancellations, particularly me, the promoter, the fans. I hate it. It's happened to me a few times, and it's not fun.
Yeah. They don't do it on purpose. They're not there just to, they're just jipping the fans. They want to show up. And no, it's never anything like that.
No, there's been some rare instances where I've witnessed celebrities just weren't filming, weren't sick, just totally blew off a convention. That's probably less than 1%. And I won't name names with that one, but I'll tell you.
No names, because we don't want to get sued.
So there are some jerks out there.
Yeah. But we do have a question from the chat room, and Mandy wants to know if that celebrity signed the penis in public.
No, he signed it in the bathroom at Spooky Empire at the 2009 October show.
Wow. Oh, I'm loving this. That's amazing.
Yep.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Here's another one. Will they give me a hug? Because that's, I think, probably the biggest question I ever hear, like people asking celebrities.
Some will, some won't. I mean, it depends. Here's my thought process on that. Some celebrities that you meet, sometimes you come out of there thinking that they're not really friendly. They don't hug. They barely shake hands. But a lot of times I feel that they feel awkward in public dealing with fans. They're actors. They're not. They enjoy acting. They're not consider themselves celebrities, so they don't act well. They don't like hugging. They're not kind of into that. Whereas like Anthony Michael Hall will hug you, put a bra on his head, and have a fun time.
He'll hold underwear up like he did with mine.
Yep, exactly right. So
I think the best way to see that is you kind of play each person out by ear. You kind of you're going to sit there and have like a 45-second to 1 minute conversation with a celebrity, and you can pretty much feel if they're really the personable, touchable type, or if they're somebody that just needs to stay behind the table.
Right.
It's just basically using common sense.
Yeah, and I usually try to figure that out before they get to the event, so I can tell the volunteers and post some signs, particularly in the photo op, because there are celebrities that go to photo ops that don't want an arm around them. They just don't want to have it done. And there's people like that who,
some people are germaphobes. Some people they're very massive introverts, and they might have social anxiety. Therefore, they don't want strangers touching them. And let's be honest, nobody wants to go up to, someone comes up to you in public, wants to give you a hug. You don't know who they are. You're not going to let some stranger hug you. It's the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I will.
Yeah. All right. Overall, here's another question. Again, we get this all the time. I'd say, how much do celebrities charge, and do we get it for free? I've seen that asked.
Well, the cost has gradually risen in the last number of years, and that's due to, in part, that conventions have become more popular than ever. When I first started going to conventions, you never saw anything north of $20. In fact, sometimes people would sign your. I remember when I first met Doug Bradley, he was charging $5 to sign your item.
Oh God, I remember that.
$5.
God, I'm old.
Now he's $40. I mean, and that's pretty much average now.
Yeah.
So you know you're going to be anywhere from $20 up. I was at New York Comic Con a few years ago, and Sylvester Stallone was charging, I think, about $800 for an autograph and picture.
What? Oh my God.
You know, so it can go. It goes all sorts. It goes anywhere from $20 up, and
Mark
I
Hamill's
don't think you're
charging
going to see.
$300
I think the
right
most
now.
expensive autograph at this convention
Jesus.
is John Cusack for $80.
Yeah. And I think that's what he was charging at MegaCon too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, but that
So-
usually is average, and usually the bigger celebrity, the more they're going to pay. And Mo, God damn it, you're doing it again.
Well, unfortunately, is particularly with the Comic Cons, if you want to get a lot of these high name like Gal Gadot or Chris Evans, who were in these big superhero movies, their 1-day fees is well into six figures. So it has to translate into something to cover that cost. So that's where you get this $150, $250 autograph and photo op combo. So it's expensive.
Yeah, and just to remind people, you know, like Spooky Empire. If you go to Spooky Empire, they're not setting the autograph prices. That's never them. So
No.
it's like, yeah, if you go to, let's say, I don't know, Richard Dreyfuss, and you know, it's like, oh well, that's too expensive. And that's another thing. If you go up to the celebrities table, remember to have some manners. I mean, not even just please, thank you, but I've sat with a couple of Julian Sands. I remember sitting with him, and someone came up and it's like, oh, these pictures are so expensive.
Yeah, I know.
He's sitting right there.
I know. That's
What's the matter with you people?
I don't agree with that. We'll add that to the list of right behind, you know, telling someone they look old. That's
they
another
look
one.
old. Yeah. Oh, you got old.
In defense of Spooky, in a lot of conventions, they really work hard to try to keep the autograph prices down. They really try to
Yes, they do.
convince people to just sign more at a lesser price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do that too. I'm like, well, you know, you can charge this or you can charge more, but it kind of looks better if you charge this price and don't try to go for the jugular and not so mercenary.
Exactly, because you know they do want to keep the fans as opposed to alienate them, and then I most of them
exactly.
that have ever been to Spooky, they do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
In
right.
your opinion, okay. Sorry. In your opinion, what are the biggest faux pas that you've seen when it comes to celebrity attendee interactions?
You know, I think going back and just sometimes fans, I think, have a little bit of a sense of entitlement, and they'll say really off-color comments, and I think it can be attributed sometimes they're a little awkward in front of someone, that it's an awkwardness, and they'll say something that's really odd and just kind of almost insulting. And
Yeah.
I think at that point, if you're trying to find something to say, just go over and say hi, shake their hand, get an autograph, and leave. You know, you don't have to engage people if you don't want to. And sometimes, actually, I recommend that a lot of times with certain people. There's certain people are in, you know,
Yeah.
there's one star of The Exorcist that we won't mention. That's pretty much you just want to kind of meet her and leave. And it's unfortunate, but again, it's getting back to what I was saying before. I don't think it's so much sometimes the fans, sometimes the celebrities also are a little miserable. And you can tell which ones don't want to be there. And those are usually the ones that get into arguments with fans.
Yeah. And this is just my personal experience. And during one of these webcasts, I'll show off my wall of fame over there from over, God, I don't know, 11, however long it's been. But usually if you ask, and I've given this tip before, if you ask a celebrity about something personal of theirs, especially if they're involved with a charity, Shannon Elizabeth, for example, she's coming on, she's doing a
Right.
big charity about some of the endangered animals in Africa.
Right.
If you ask her about that, ask them about things that they're passionate about. Julian Sands likes mountain climbing. So, you know, when you talk about that, and not just films and roles, and that's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. If you love a movie they've done, sure, that's great. But when you do something that's a little personal to them, John Astin loves bartending. You know, ask them a couple drink
Right.
recipes, things like that. When you actually look at IMDb or do a little research on the guest you want to meet, John Cusack is big into the freedom of journalism, activist
Mhm.
as far as that's concerned. So if you ask him about that, he talks about Ed Snowden all the time. He's a big art fanatic. So just things like that, you know,
Right.
they're more
I agree.
likely. Yeah, they're more
Yeah.
likely to be personable and actually relate to you on a level that you will remember, and they're more likely to remember you if you talk about things that actually interest them as opposed to just what they do for work. So
Yeah, I agree. You know, that's a good idea. You can do that. Again, as mentioned before, I've heard 95% of the time everything runs very smooth, even probably more than that.
yeah.
Just occasionally you get some very odd comments from people, and I think it's just, again, they're just a little awkward in front of people. They don't know how to act.
Yeah.
The social skills are kind of a little diminished. But what you mentioned
Yeah.
is a good idea. Talk about something outside of the movie industry. John Cusack, like you mentioned, he's also very much into baseball. I had a conversation about that.
Oh yeah, he's a
Uh,
huge Chicago fan. Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss runs something called the Dreyfuss Initiative,
Ooh.
trying to teach young kids about civics. So he's really passionate about that. Um, and a lot of times they don't want to talk about a movie they did 40 years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, that's what they're there for. So it's a give and take.
Yeah. But that's a great point, though. I mean, I met Crispin Glover once years and years ago, but someone asked him about Back to the Future, and he's like, "Okay, I did that when I was 19 years old." You know, it's
Yeah.
like that was like 30 years ago. Can we? I've done a bunch of stuff since. So no, that's actually a good point. I mean, Dreyfus doing you know, something the thing for civics, like you said, teaching young kids about civics. That's fascinating.
Exactly.
I think more people should look into that.
No, I agree. But you know, like I was mentioned before, I think a lot of times for fans, it's just be natural and don't, you know, realize that, yeah, that they're actors that you've watched on screen for, you know, for decades or for the last, you know, recently popular TV series or movie. But you don't have to worry about trying to impress them. Just go up there and just, even just saying
That's a
hi,
great point.
shake their hand, and that's it. You know, sometimes that's the
Yeah.
best thing to do. Because it can
Yeah.
backfire
No,
on
that's a great
people. I've
point, though.
seen people's entire enjoyment of certain movie franchises get destroyed by meeting people that have just been
I've been
absolute
one.
cons.
But yeah, that'd actually be a good topic for one. It's like, what celebrity you met that has destroyed a movie franchise for you? Because I know I've got a couple. But here, that's another topic altogether. Here's another
Hmm.
question: should I dress up for my photo?
Well, as far as like a costume, I mean, I think it's cool. Uh, I like it. I love seeing people come in. Like I was in Denver with Al Yankovic, and there was a whole family that dressed like him. It was awesome. A little
Oh,
4-year-old
that's
kid up to
awesome.
the parents. And I was also in Phoenix with Mike Hall, and someone came in dressed as the entire Breakfast Club cast. It was really fun. It's really cool to see people take the time and put together outfits and just be excited about meeting someone that was in that movie. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great. You know,
Yeah.
you know, celebrities sometimes are indifferent, but most of them are cool about it. They appreciate it.
Yeah. So it's something that's definitely encouraged.
Oh
Make sure
yeah,
you
I think so.
shower.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, just like your Joan photo from last year. Remember? Remember your Joan Cusack photo?
Oh yeah. We actually did the Addams Family, and she literally practically broke down in tears because she's just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and she saw each one of us come in the room one after the other, and we actually did the whole Addams Family, and she flipped out. She thought it was the greatest thing. So yeah, I mean, it's something that's definitely encouraged. The celebrities love to see when you come in dressed as their characters.
Yeah,
So absolutely.
yeah,
But Boris, you were saying something about showering.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to make a bad impression.
yeah. I have to
Unfortunately,
agree.
my God, yeah, no, that's actually a really good one. Deodorant, and if we need to go over the whole how to shower and how to use deodorant, if we have to do that, we will. Because
I swear
Well,
that comes up every episode. Every episode.
it
for
needs
some
to be
reason.
addressed, because we have a goal to make sure people at Spooky don't stink anymore.
Well, I had the idea of maybe someone could set up a booth with a bunch of Febreze, and just like people can go in and get doused, and they can go right back out. And I think that could probably
That should
solve some
be,
problems.
instead of metal detectors, we could have people go through that, like a
Yeah.
smell check.
Yeah, and just
I like this idea.
just get a little Febreze, and you're fine.
Seriously,
$3
little
a
something
spray.
to do. Like in the mall where they have the perfume ladies, just people throughout the con with little things of Febreze just to make sure.
Yeah.
I love that idea. Okay, and the last question, let's see. Insert celebrity here. Getting breakfast or in the bathroom or by the elevator, should I ask them for an autograph or a picture then?
No. It's,
And why is that?
well, it's particularly not in the bathroom or when they're eating.
I've seen people do it.
Oh, I've seen people do it too. It's just, if you're reading, if you're a celebrity, it's tough to relate sometimes, but it'd be equivalent of you going to dinner almost every night, going out in public, and someone bothering you every single time you're eating to stop and talk to you. It gets old really quickly. I don't think there's an issue if you're having a drink with them at the bar, or you're hanging out at the VIP party. Obviously, that's a different story. But
Yeah.
to grab autographs, it happens all the time, and they know that. I stop it for the most part, because it's just people just not trying to support to me, not supporting the convention. Number one, there's people who hang out at the hotel lobby and never go into the convention and try to get autographs all weekend long. And,
oh my God.
And also the airport. The airport is a major problem. There is
Oh my God, really?
20
Yes,
to
it
30
is.
people at the airport. For every celebrity that lands, they find out what flight they're on, and they sit down there with stacks of photos, and they get aggressive too.
Wow.
Yeah, I've experienced this hundreds of times, I swear. And
Yep.
yeah, they're not fans, they're ebayers.
Right.
And
Oh my God.
they will sit there with a whole stack of, with like a wagon full of things to sign. Please, just one or two, and they keep on pushing them. Very, very aggressive. I've had to physically push somebody away because of this.
Oh yeah, it's Orlando's the worst out of everywhere I go. Orlando's the worst. It happens elsewhere, but it seems to be problematic at the Orlando airport.
There's a leak at the airport.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that. That's amazing.
That's what I think.
You could be right. They're finding out somehow. They might be paying people off and getting the information. Or I've heard a few different scenarios where they have a website they can access to get the information, or they call up impersonating the celebrity to get their itinerary.
Oh my!
And just a few, but for the most part, I think
that's
you meet them at the bar. You can get a picture with them. I mean, that's not a big problem.
Okay, you know what? This is actually a really good point. Oh wait, why is everything coming through okay on my end?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It seemed like a little glitch there for a second. Maybe it's just my headphones. But this is actually a great point. And actually, Mo, I wanted to hand this over to you for a second. As far as stalking, because I mean, since we get a bunch of new people at the convention, unfortunately, this is something that's going to happen. Whether it's just the celebrities in the bathroom, or some hot cosplay chick that some guy wants to talk to, or whatever, And you're a member of the Brute Squad, so.
Oh yeah. Well. First things first. Don't do it. It's weird. It's creepy. Just stalking in itself, whether it be a guest or a fan, and lots of that happens too. Just don't do it. There are a few members that have gotten together. They're called the Brute Squad. I'm on it. A bunch of other people are. I don't have my armband. I'm totally sorry. I have it packed away somewhere. I haven't pulled it out yet. I'm in the middle of a move right now, so I apologize. But there are volunteers that we have that that are actually kind of look out for people, you know, or there's somebody that you can recognize. We wear a little bit of we wear an armband, and basically they walk around, and it's kind of like a safety net, because the convention has a lot of, they have a very competent security staff. They have a very competent volunteer staff that, you know, that comes together and actually, you know, keeps things in check. This is more of kind of like a fan-based safety net that we have.
Yeah.
That
like a neighborhood watch, sort of.
kind of, yeah. I think that's the perfect way to put it. Now, me personally, I do this kind of off, you know, on my off hours, but I do volunteer for the staff as well. Yeah, stalking in any way, whether it be a fan or celebrity, is just creepy. It's weird, and you don't have to do that.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. It's like, so what do you define as stalking? Because no one ever thinks that they're actually stalking, you know? Just
standing kind of like hovering over, you know, like certain people's lines. If there's somebody that's been sitting there for like 20 minutes and just staring, that's kind of creepy and kind of sets people off kilter a little bit. Coming over and asking weird questions and not really purchasing anything at the table, that's another thing too. Just things like that.
Yeah. Since you're gonna have like a lot of cosplay chicks and stuff like that, and you know, there's like, and like John said before, there are some fans that don't necessarily understand social boundaries. You know, they don't understand etiquette, you know, personal etiquette. Yes. So it's just important to. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. That's perfect. We're part of a culture that basically incorporates all different types of people, and there's a lot of people who don't know those social boundaries, and they'll, you know, they don't know that coming over and talking, you know, asking the same questions over and over again, and just kind of like being a little weird about it, kind of sets people off, or getting a little too close, or trying to come behind the table, or trying to help out, things like that. That's a little creepy. So.
And ladies, or even anyone out there who doesn't feel safe. I mean, you know, you've seen Mo's face, you've seen Mike on the webcast, you've seen a number of us. You know, they're happy to, if, you know, some guy is too drunk and bothering you, or if you don't feel safe walking back to your room or something like that, they'll be happy to help you out. Even if, you know, you don't want to necessarily bother security about someone, just walk up and say, hey, I know you're a member of the Brood Squad. Out this guy over here that's being a little weird or whatever. That's all you need to do. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's and even John. I mean, I've seen John be an absolute, complete 100% gentleman in situations like that. So, you know, I mean, he's busy doing his thing, but you see his face. So
yeah, the thing is, there's a difference between people who are, you know, a little starstruck and they're at a loss of words and they're taking their time. I'm never gonna, you know, stop someone from getting their moment and, you know, enjoying it. And and most of the celebrities realize when someone's a little starstruck and is you know, doesn't know what to say. That's much different from what Mo was explaining. And by the way, Spooky, I do a lot of conventions during the year, and Spooky is one of the very few that actually takes the time and watches out for the celebrities before and after the event. Some of them just don't care. Some of them even during the event they don't care. And I do a couple of large ones that just there's no presence at all. You're on your own.
Yeah.
And I think the female cosplayers, especially in the sci-fi comic book conventions, really it's become an epidemic where they get harassed, probably worse than the celebrities.
Yeah. For that. But and I can honestly say, I mean, of all the conventions I've been to, I mean, and I've been to conventions around the country, I mean, North Carolina, Dallas, you know, Texas, I mean, all over the place. And, you know, I can honestly say I've never felt safer, literally, at any other convention in close to 20 years than I have at Spooky.
Oh, I agree.
Ever.
I agree.
Yeah.
And, you know,
and
it's a fun event. It's such a fun event I really look forward to twice a year. And I think the first year I went, I had too much fun, but
That's a rite of passage, though. I mean, you kind of have, that's almost like an initiation, you know?
Oh, took me a while to get over my initiation first time.
But did you get your penis tattooed? I think that's the most important question.
No, it was with the Sharpie. It wasn't permanent.
Oh, okay. So that technically, kind of, sort of, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay. Well, the last thing that we did want to bring up, actually, because those of you that are getting their Thursday night at Spooky, yeah, since Boris has been, quiet in the background there.
All right. I'll participate. Okay, so the ghost hunt. Thursday night, a bunch of us are in
the
background. So Thursday night, a bunch of us are getting together, and we're going to be doing some ghost hunting at the Hyatt. And I don't know, do we have like an exact time or anything yet?
I think we're going to do that a little closer to the event, but probably, I don't know, around 10, something like that. Whatever everybody wants to do. It's very informal. It's very loose. So,
are we going to use like that app, that phone app?
Oh yeah, it's out there. It's like, I mean, there's like,
it's just
was it Ghost Radar or whatever?
Yeah, it should be a fun time. We'll have drinks.
Oh God, that's just going to be fun.
I'll just drink.
You just look up ghost detector and I mean, I don't know if you can even see it on this, but just go to ghost detector and there's like 15 million of them in here. But Mo, you were going to say something?
You mean we're not bringing in professional equipment and like
we are
TV staff and video equipment to document this at all?
Extreme.
You're in charge of that. That's your department. You're supposed to be doing that.
I didn't get that memo. I'll be drinking. I'll be in charge of that. How about that?
Mo, you're supposed to be the lead Ghostbuster here.
I saw a cockroach on 12.
See, there you go. But yeah, so you could also like hang out with us guys and have some drinks and who knows. And I know like Mike Reed. I mean, we know Big Daddy Mike brings the big guns when it comes to drinks. Him and his big huge thing of Southern Comfort, whatever the hell it is, and yeah, I know.
Coming? Is Mike coming this year?
He better be coming this year. I'm going to drag his ass here myself.
Oh man, I hope he's not working. Oh man, I'd love to see him again.
Oh, according to him, he's always working. Every time I talk to him, he's working.
Yeah, I think he said he's coming.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, John, as far as since you work with the guests and everything, what do you think is the biggest thing that our viewers probably need to know about what you do?
Well, basically, I'm just the middleman between the celebrity and the convention. I set it up with Petey. I've been working with Petey for a while, and what I try to do is to make sure that the fan is taken care of at the table as well. Once the celebrity, I make sure the celebrity gets to his table, everything's set up for him, but I also make sure the fan has a good experience. I want to keep the prices right. I want to have the selection of photos. I also want to make sure that they're not rushed through. They get their time with everyone. And if they're not happy, I try to make sure they're happy. But overall, it's my business is just going out and trying to represent the celebrity at different events throughout the U.S. and to try to keep them in happy, but also putting them in events that are well run like Spooky. Because there's a lot of really crappy events out there, and not all the events are like Spooky, which is well run.
I'm sorry, organized. I'm just looking at Mo's face right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's true. It's true. It's sad sometimes, but you actually have one of the hardest jobs of all. You've got to keep 3 points. 3 different types of people happy. You got to keep the promoter happy. You got to keep the celebrity happy. You got to keep the fans happy. And getting it all to sync well together is not the easiest thing to do.
I appreciate that. It's not. It can be kind of difficult sometimes if you have a problematic client. But for the most part, everyone I deal with is pretty good. I mean, Anthony Michael Hall and Weird Al Yankovic. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't eat meat, doesn't even swear.
One of the most
Wow.
amazing people I've ever worked with. He is
Yeah.
awesome. Yes.
Yeah, if I could clone him 10 times over, I'd be very
Yeah.
happy. But unfortunately, not everyone's like him, or Ernie Hudson, Mike Hall. Talking about John Aston, I worked with him. I was the one who put him at Spooky. He, a great guy to work with. Brad Dorff, really easy to work with.
Brad.
There have been some that just, at 10 o'clock in the morning, they're already 2 or 3 drinks deep, and it's not makes for a good day.
That depends. I mean, you know, some of them are, and just like, you know, anyone that drinks, and I'm not advocating, you know, drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning, mind you, but some people, they need a drink or two to loosen up, because otherwise they're just, you know, introverts in their shell. Some people are fun drunks. You know, there are those people, and we all know them. Everyone's got that one friend who, once they have a couple of drinks in them, they're a life of the, oh, look, yep, as a matter of fact, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm much better drunk. I'm much better drunk. I mean, come on. I have an accountant mentality. So,
Well, see, and then we've got Boris over here. Like, when he gets drunk, he ends up in the bushes.
That was one time.
At the Wyndham.
One time.
It was at the
why
window,
are we bringing
actually.
up old shit? Why are we bringing up old shit? Come
It
on.
was last night. It was in May.
That was rather fun, though. Drunk with salad fingers. That was kind of awesome. But no. So John, I mean, if people want to follow what you do, where can they find you?
Well, I have my website, iconicmanagement.net, and I usually
Put
have
it in the link
schedule,
below.
on there. And I also have another company called iconicautograph-services.com. So in case you can't make it to Spooky, you can get autographs through there. And it's just another service that I started. So I know, I'm on Instagram, Iconic Management, and Facebook and Twitter, and everything posts.
I've been seeing you grow over the last year.
Sorry?
I've been seeing your social media profile grow over the past year. So
well, that's because of Kelly Brown. She handles my social media now because I.
Oh yeah, Kelly. Yeah, I know her. Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah,
Basic
Kelly's
bitch
awesome.
Kelly. We love Kelly.
And Kelly, and I have Mandy Marie, Amanda. She's been helping out as well. And it's on social media. I'm just horrible with it. You can see my personal page. I usually post what kind of beer I drink, and that's probably the extent of my posting. And putting pictures of my dog. That's about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's some of the better stuff on Facebook these days, to be perfectly honest.
I agree.
Beer and dogs, I'm in. I'm totally in.
That's it.
But you were talking about your autograph service. That's actually something really good to bring up for people that can't make it to Spooky. And I honestly, if you want something like that, I mean, there are a couple of people that offer autograph services, but I mean, someone who handles and works with the celebrities right there, that's who you want handling, getting your autographs.
I appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that. And it's something that it's actually, Anthony Michael Hall and I are partners. So we started it together, and we're co-owners in Iconic Management. So we started this as a complementary to the business. So people, and it started from one convention particularly. We're at a convention, and we walked by a booth selling autographs, and he looked at a poster that was signed by him, but it was fake. He's like, "Look at that!"
Oh my God!
He went up to the person. That's fake. The guy took it off, but he probably put it back about 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
And he said, there should be a way to stop that. I'm like, there's no way to 100% stop it, but we could do this to kind of try to curb it, because I hate when I see people get taken when they're spending money on an autograph and they find out it's fake.
Wow.
That's just a really bad feeling. It's not like buying, a piece of counterfeit, clothing that at least has some function. I mean, this is pretty much worthless.
Wow, that's the fact that people actually do that nowadays. That shocks me.
Absolutely.
And also just before, because we're starting to run a little long here, which is perfectly fine. But I wanted to thank you personally for bringing Molly Ringwald in. If you guys want to know why Molly Ringwald is showing up at Spooky, you're looking at the man right there.
And I'm 50% of that equation. Mike Hall, obviously, has a connection with her. They starred in 2 movies. He's the one that got her on the phone, and we had some nice conversations with her, and she's looking forward to doing it. And this is the first ever convention she's ever been at.
Wow.
And the response so far has been really great, and I'm hoping she has a good time. And she's there Friday and Saturday, and I expect her to be pretty busy. And I think the photo
she's going to
op,
be a massive draw.
the photo op with her and Mike, I think is going to be really popular. And
Me.
she's cool. Her husband Ponyo, who's an author, is a really nice guy as well, and he's instrumental in making it happen as well.
Oh wow!
I'm going to butcher his last name. He's a Greek last name. It's Giannopoulos, I believe it's pronounced, but I could be wrong.
That's better than we would do.
Yeah, but he was instrumental in making it happen too, and it took us a while. And I wanted to bring her to an event that I knew she'd be taken care of, and Spooky, and for the fall, and Spooky was really the only one that I can trust to because a lot of times we make arrangements and you go to a convention and nothing's done. I don't need to worry about Pete, Gina, and the rest of the Spooky staff. Basically everything's there when I get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so how excited are we for Spooky? I mean, and like John's already put me in a panic. He's like, 2 weeks left. What?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm getting all the travel finalized now, and it happens quick. And before you know it, right after the holidays, April is right around the corner. So I mean, the Wyndham is not too far away in theory.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
And
that's something else.
Yeah.
And I love it there. That's my favorite place.
Yeah. It's easily anyone that hasn't been to Spooky, there's a reason we started this webcast, because we just wanted to share how much we love Spooky, and those of you that are going to Spooky, we want you to have a good time. Just like John said, he wants the fans to have a great celebrity experience, and as other attendees, we want you to have fun there too. So one big happy family, Spooky family, absolute Spooky family.
There's no set rules. I think it's just more of just relax, just have a good time, and don't worry about. I think after doing so many of these years, don't worry about trying to impress a celebrity. Just go up there and say what you want to say if it's in reason, not insulting about weight or how old they look or whatever. And I've heard it all, and sometimes I cringe. I'm like, why would you say that?
That could be a show in and of itself. Just some of the bad things we've heard.
Yeah, well, they'll mention a movie, say, "Oh, that movie really sucked." Well, they don't want to hear that. They might agree with you, but they don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. All right. That about wraps it up. Those of you, we hope to see a number of you out at Gods and Monsters this weekend. Like I said, we're going to have an absolute blast. We got a lot of great stuff planned. We got a lot of great prizes. Make sure to wear your pajamas, because that's how we party. So. And we will see these guys in a couple of weeks. And thank you so much, John, for joining us tonight. It was great to get a little view behind the scenes, and I hope everyone's questions have been answered, and all that good stuff. And thank you, Mo, for joining us this evening, gracing us with your adorable presence.
This handsome face.
That's right, baby.
This handsome
nice
face.
And pretty. And of course, Boris sitting in the corner as usual, playing with his wiener.
His puppy.
No, his wiener. That's his wiener. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. And
Barely hear it.
Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, everyone.